Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about Marvel comic books, specifically the Marvel Cinematic Universe, pretty much the most popular film franchise of our lifetime. Now, they've definitely started to wane. Their last movie came out last year though, and it hasn't really been that long since Avengers Endgame came out and broke many box office records, becoming like the highest grossing film of all time, and it still holds that record, probably will for a long time. It was the culmination of over a dozen movies and 3 phases of this Marvel MCU universe. And today we're talking about a news story. It's part of what's been going on in current events. Recently, the actor who played Black Panther passed away, unfortunately, very young, very tragic death from cancer. And it sparked a number of stories. We talked about how some leftists were exploiting it, and that became an issue, and that was discussed in other videos. But today we're talking about how another Marvel actor responded to that, and it turned into the whole Marvel fan base kind of going after her. Today we're talking about Elizabeth Olsen. She plays the Scarlet Witch, a popular character in the franchise since the second Avengers movie. She came up and has become a pretty big hit. I mean, she hasn't had her own movie yet. She's just kind of like a side Avengers character who appeared, I believe, in Captain America Civil War 2. She was slated to have her own series as well. They're going to make a WandaVision series that includes both the Scarlet Witch and Vision heroes. But the point is, Elizabeth Olsen is a great actress. She's super hot, super good at this role, and she basically did nothing wrong, in my opinion. I mean, I'll have to read on more, but I think she's getting attacked just for asking a simple question, and it's resulted in her basically leaving social media altogether. As you can see by this article from Cosmic Book News, it says, Marvel fans force Elizabeth Olsen off social media. So something happened. She said something in regards to Black Panther and his passing. So let's see where that goes, and we'll read on and discuss it later. Feig's toxic Marvel zombie fan base is at it again, as this time they have apparently forced Elizabeth Olsen off social media, which has to do with the death of Black Panther actor Chadwick Boseman. While it is unclear exactly what happened, apparently Elizabeth Olsen didn't post a comment or response fast enough about Chadwick Boseman's death to Feig's Marvel zombie fans' liking. So they ganged up on her, bullied her, and harassed her, which they are ought to do. Following the death of Chadwick Boseman on Friday, those same types of toxic fans were also quick to worry about the state of Black Panther 2, while the actor had passed away just a few hours earlier. Olsen's Instagram now says, sorry, the page is not available. So doesn't look like there's a lot of details here yet, but I guess she was just not woke enough. She didn't like say rest in peace quick enough. She didn't virtue signal enough. This is a common thing that they come after popular people for, because basically what happens is if you're not virtue signaling, you can be called out now. Like the left expects every Hollywood celebrity, every major figure in TV and news and everything, they have to adhere to their politics, and you have to say it. Like it's not like the olden days where your politics were kind of private, and a lot of actors, you might not even know where they stand on things because they just focus on the work. But nowadays, everything's political. Everyone's an activist. And if you don't say something quick enough, this is what could happen. People hounded Scarlet Witch. There's a picture of her again. Very, very talented, stunning actress. Elizabeth Olsen did nothing wrong, in my opinion. But apparently, they're coming after her anyway. And it's just really bad. And I think it reflects bad on the fan base. It shows that, yeah, these Marvel are like these zombie fans who just go along and attack everything, make sure stuff is woke, you know, stuff like that. It's just a really bad look for the whole industry and for their whole fandom. And I think it's been like that for a while. I mean, I'm certainly part of that fandom in a way. I'm a fan of the Marvel movies. I've seen them all. I always try to go to the theaters when they come out. They're still fun. I mean, there's definitely been issues, and there's been a couple of missteps. You know, Captain Marvel was another one from last year that wasn't my favorite, but you know, I still like them. I'm still going in. I'm still gonna, you know, go with the family, go see a film with your friends or something like that. That's fine. I like to have fun, but I'm not as extreme as these guys, and I'm not part of this whole woke fan base. These zombies are about, you know, virtue signaling and acting like they're down with these progressive causes. They're the ones that champion these lesser heroes that aren't as popular, but they're going to champion them because of their identities. That's what happened with Black Panther initially. He's the one that sparked this story because of the actor's death. And yeah, that movie was super hyped because of politics, because of it being a black movie set with black characters in Africa. They try to pretend it was like the first black movie when it really wasn't. but that's a whole other story. We're not trying to talk bad about that too much, but it just goes along with this because the next year after Black Panther in 2018, 2019 saw Captain Marvel, and that was like the girl power movie. That's when they went, oh, we love the females, we love the ladies. This is our first girl superhero movie, even though, again, it wasn't that. It wasn't the first. There was an Elektra movie like many years before it, like 10 years before this movie came out. There was an Elektra movie. There's been other girl hero movies before. Charlie's Angels was another example. Lots of stuff like that has happened. So that was another false claim. But the point is, Marvel has been sort of wokenized, weaponized into wokenized, like Wakanda, but like they should call it Wokanda, you know? And that's what's been going on with the Marvel fan base. It's been attracting these kinds of people. And now it's kind of turning on itself. It's turning this toxicity inward, as liberals tend to do. Liberals tend to eat their own and eat themselves alive. And that's kind of the way I see what's happening with Elizabeth Olsen, who didn't do nothing. Again, we don't know exactly what happened, but Feige's Marvel audience apparently went to Elizabeth Olsen's Instagram page and berated the Scarlet Witch actress for not posting anything fast enough and right away about the death of Chadwick Boseman. Is it really bad that she waited? I mean, some people would say that's respectful. You don't need to chime in right away, right while the guy died, like trying to get attention. Like, no, just let it go, let it happen, let people mourn, and maybe say something a few days later. It hasn't even been that long. Like, as of this story and recording this video, it's not even been a week. So it's like, dude, relax. We don't even know if Olsen runs her own Instagram page, as it could be run by a PR team, and her account is only used to promote her career. So it's possible Olsen herself might not even use Instagram. But of course, Feige's Marvel audience didn't care. Elizabeth Olsen could have also been devastated by the news and chose not to go on social media. But when she finally did, the Marvel fans, shame on them, had lit her social media up with negative comments, which in essence bullied her off Instagram. Round of applause to you, Feige Marvel fans who did that. Insert Leonardo DiCaprio clapping gif. Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman died Friday at the age of 43 due to a 5-year bout with colon cancer, where it was revealed he was battling the disease while filming his Marvel movies. Boseman recently appeared with Elizabeth Olsen in the Avengers Endgame. That was the biggest movie. That's the end of that story. And yeah, it's just, you know, there's a silly thing to this. Bullying people off of social media is dumb. I will, for the record, be fair. Like, if people leave social media, she's an adult. I mean, it's fine. Like, you could just leave it. It's not like the biggest thing. It's just a bad sign for this fan base. And it shows the toxicity and just like how much heat is going around the Black Panther franchise still. Like, it was the big phenomenon in 2018, but people still remember that. They still see it as this big monumental thing. And that's true, actually. That's fine. It was a big movement in the culture that year. I'm not denying that. I liked it too. I watched the movie. I got the soundtrack and everything as well. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan. Like, it definitely had its faults. The film wasn't perfect, but I understand it was a big move for everyone that year. I think it was even nominated for the Best Picture. Obviously didn't win, but the point is, yeah, Olsen could leave social media. It's not necessarily like she was bullied off. They don't have the whole details, but the point is the fan base got rabid. They're getting kind of emboldened by these causes, by this woke stuff, and it's just getting really bad and negative. And, you know, I think it's a sign that Marvel is on a decline too. I think Marvel is having trouble. Their movies aren't coming out this year. They're losing relevance throughout this pandemic. They'll certainly come back. They have stuff planned, of course, and that's what I want to move to for the end of this video. There is another article here that interests me. It says Black Widow feminist Me Too movie confirms Scarlett Johansson. So that's not a good sign. It reminds me a lot of what happened with Captain Marvel. We talked about Captain Marvel already. That was a big woke fest. That was all about feminist girl power stuff. And it looks like, according to this, if this is right, Black Widow's not out for another month. I believe it's coming out in November now. But yeah, this is not going to be good. A Me Too movie, if Scarlett Johansson is trying to get woke with it, that's certainly troubling. It's showing the bad direction Marvel's been going in, the woke kind of pandering to activists, to leftists, to PC culture. And I think that's part of the problem. That's why it came back to bite them with the Scarlet Witch story we just talked about. And I'm not sure it's going to go well for Scarlett Johansson, who also has Scarlet in her name, by the way. And it's also funny to me because she's Black Widow and then Scarlet Witch. Those two kind of confuse me sometimes. They're both like hot redheads on the Avengers team. They're totally different, obviously, but yeah, that's the way it goes. Let's read what this says first. Scarlett Johansson confirms the Marvel prequel Black Widow movie is a feminist flick and deals with issues surrounding the Time's Up and Me Too movements, which fits nicely with Kevin Feige's approach to Phase 4. I think this film in particular is very much reflective of what's going on in regards to the Time's Up movement and the Me Too movement Johansson filled in Empire magazine. It would be such a miss if we didn't address this stuff, if this film didn't take that head on. I think particularly for Kate, it was so important for her to make a movie about women who are helping other women, who lift other women up out of a very difficult situation. Someone asked me if Natasha was a feminist. Of course she is. It's obvious. It's kind of an asinine question. So bad sign for the next Marvel movie that's coming out in November. And I think this is interesting because, you know, we just talked about the Marvel fans bullying another female actress off the internet. And now they're talking about coming out with a movie that's like pro-feminist. It's kind of contradicting. It's like they want to be girl power, but then they attack a girl. And that's not like very Me Too inspired if you think about it. Like you're supposed to listen and believe women and give them like credit and benefit of the doubt. But now they're attacking them and they scared Elizabeth Olsen off the internet. And I mean, she's a woman too. She has a right to mourn and reflect and post how she wants, but the Marvel fans, they're not a fan of that, and it's showing a little hypocrisy here. There's a lot of kind of showing here of how they want to act like they love women, but if they don't listen to them and do exactly what they want, then they get attacked and negative commented on, which is rather strange because it's like they do that with conservatives a lot too, where they're saying, oh, we love women, we love Me Too, listen and believe all women. But if you're a conservative, it's like, screw you, you're a conservative woman, you're terrible, you're sexist, like they hate on them. And it's just rather strange because this also happened with the presidential candidate. The Democratic presidential candidate had been accused of sexual assault and stuff like that. Like Biden had multiple accusers, but the Democrats were really quick to discredit them and say, no, don't listen and believe now. If they're accusing someone on our side, we got to stop them. Listen and believe only goes one way. And so does this Me Too feminist stuff. It's really hypocritical, really cringe, and it sucks to see it coming into another Marvel movie in 2020. That about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw. Subscribe if you're new, and you could check out our second channel too called NoBS News. There's links to all that fun stuff below, or you could just search NoBS News on YouTube, where I post extra videos each week. So check that channel out. Thanks for watching. Comment below, hit the like, and until next time, have a good one.